So welcome everyone. Welcome to Breakthrough with Jeff. We say this is the place where we live life with zero limits. And today we're talking about the limits in our minds, how we can break those limits and live an abundant life. Who doesn't want that? I sure know that I want that. That's the life I desire the most. So please, my coaches, introduce yourself and then we'll go right into the subject.
I can go first. Thank you,
Yes.
Master Coach Jeff. My name is Dr. Akoth Munda. I'm a clinical psychologist and a life coach, and I am looking forward to this discussion. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Coach. Next, Coach Ogo.
My name is Coach Ogorchukwu Ugolo. I am a passionate wife and a productive mother with three children. I am a life coach, and my area, I love family and children. I'm also a mentor. I mentor lots of children. I support children who go through depression and help families to pick themselves together from where they have been and giving them positive lights to destiny.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you so much and good to have you both. For those who don't know me, my name is Jeff. I train coaches and mentor coaches or agents of change, people that want to bring change on the planet. That is my job. But I also have one-on-one clients, people that want to challenge their current way of living, thinking, and feeling so they can create a breakthrough in their life. So today, we are talking about one of the major kinds of breakthrough, and this is abundance. Abundance. When I read books, whether it's the Bible or whatever books that talk about a human being becoming whole and complete, this is one of the area that you have to. I see that connection, and you have to think abundantly. And it's like the world was created to be abundant. When a child is born, there's no scarcity thinking, it's abundant. No matter where the child is born, there's a sense of thinking this world is abundant and I'm enough and whatever I have around me is enough. That's going back now, because after 4 years of age, we begin to be introduced into scarcity mindset, where you're told things are limited. You don't have as much. We don't have as much as the neighbors. We, yeah. I don't know. What's your experience, Dr. Akoth? What's your experience with abundance, and what are the stories that surround abundant thinking?
Wow, Master Coach Jeff, this abundance, the concept of abundance, I think it's one of the most limiting things or factors that hold us back. How we perceive, resources. And when I'm talking about resources, I'm talking about all kinds of resources. And you said correctly that no child is born with a scarcity mentality. So we are the ones, the parents, our environments, where we are born, what we're interacting with is what starts implanting the scarcity mentality in us, which is so unfortunate, because that scarcity mentality grows up. We grow with it. We grow up with it, and everything we're interacting with, everyone we're interacting with, we interact from that scarcity mentality. It holds us back. And it's from simple things like what you're saying. The parents are telling the children, we don't have enough. The child asks for something. I don't have money to buy you that. You can't waste food. Money is limited. And then the child is probably growing up in an environment and they're seeing the neighbors having more materially.
Yeah. Yeah.
And questions arise, and the child is also going to school and interacting with other children and seeing other children having what they perceive as abundance.
Yes.
And this goes on, and even in children who have grown up in what we would consider material abundance, they can still have
The
scarcity
mindset.
mentality. Yes,
Yes.
the scarcity mindset.
Mm.
uh, it's unfortunate. So the question that we need to address is, how does this scarcity mindset come in? What are we telling
Yes.
our children? Where do our
Yes.
children get the scarcity mentality? I
Yes.
have had on 2 occasions, or even more, at least two of my children. Most recently, my 7-year-old daughter asked me a question that is very relevant to today's discussion. Mommy, are we rich?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How
And
did you
that
how did you
threw me
answer?
off. And I honestly, maybe I'll tell you later how I answered the question, but it really threw
Yeah.
me off. It was not the first time I was asked that question.
Yeah.
And so this is, yes, in brief, that's what. Let me just maybe let me let Coach Ogo also rope in. But this is
Yes.
the kind of thing we are dealing with, and it's something that we need to address as early as possible, because it affects us for the rest of our lives.
That's true, coach. And you know what? Kids are so innocent, and you know that they have that the mind of curiosity. And you know, they learn also by watching our actions and all that. And so sometimes you can have materials, but they are thinking, you know, the way we behave, like you said, Dr. Akoth, people have a lot of, you know, things, in terms of things, but they are not really wealthy. They are still mentally think scarcity, and they think we don't have. And one of the biggest human need is the need to feel complete and feel enough,
Mhm.
to feel that you're enough and you're complete. And so even that person that has materials, the land, the cars and all that, they may not feel enough. They may not feel enough. And thank you so much for bringing that. Coach Ogo, what's your experience with both scarcity and abundance mindset? How can we help people?
Thank you so much, Master Coach Jeff. And thank you, Doctor, for expanding on that area. Um, Basically, when we talk about abundance, a lot of people tend to monetize. Abundance is one of the things that have been not handled very wisely, because every time they talk abundance, people think it's materialism. People always put it in the form of, they always think it's money. And that is also
Yes.
bankruptcy of mentality, because
Mhm.
everything is not money. Money is important, money is good, it solves. And money actually is our servant. We send money on errands. Money should not be our master. So people idolize money. That's why they go every length. They can kill, they can dupe, they can cheat, they can destroy, all because of money. And when you look at the Bible, you see they talk about God saying, He said, you can't serve two masters, you can't serve God and mammon. Mammon is money. So many
Mm-hmm.
times, abundance financially it's really important, because even the Bible also says money answers all things. You know, it,
Yes.
yes. So it's bringing the balance in this area. And most importantly, it comes from the mental. It's actually mental. And when you get the mentality right, then every other thing aligns. That's why you can see a child who has almost 50 pairs of shoes is still looking at the one that the neighbor has, not still content. The power of contentment is very
Content.
key. you
Yeah.
know, Power of contentment to abundance. And because we are not grateful, because abundance has a lot to do with gratitude. We are grateful for where we are. We may
Mm,
not be there yet, but we are going somewhere. So
mm,
for every step, because life, we don't despise the days of little beginning. It starts
mm,
gradually. And
mm,
everyone who has done great things starts small before they
mm,
grow big. And that
mm,
way they are able to appreciate, because there's always the scars, the story. But when people don't understand the power of abundance, they just think abundance is just money. They think it's just what I can buy. It's just the kind of things I can drive. It's where I can live. It's beyond that. So abundance mentality is very key. It comes abundance spiritually, abundance physically, abundance monetarily, abundance in relationship,
Yes.
abundance in our career, all areas, often in our family. Abundance, we need it. How we feel and perceive things and issues and how we deal with the matters that arise. That's abundance. When you are stuck, sometimes people are stuck. They just feel they are stuck. They don't have a choice. But when you have abundance mentality, oh, I didn't get it right. Okay, I can try another way to get it. It's not a dead end. So we must start with the mindset of abundance. And once we get it right with our mindset, like we said, as a man thinketh, so is he.
So is he.
Yeah.
And you see some just have just two or one pair and they're interchanging. But once the parents give them the right mentality, they are happy, and they don't even, and that's why we start early with them, working on your mind. The mind is the vehicle to everything. Work on your mind, so that's why they don't feel, they don't, if you see some children, they don't want to share because of the mind of scarcity. They can't give. People can't give because they feel when they give, it finishes. And that's why we see our politicians stealing in Africa. And the stealing they've been stealing for years, it doesn't satisfy them because they think everything is money because they are bankrupt of mentality.
Yeah.
So our mentality of abundance is very key for us to work in the realm of abundance.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you, Coach, for pointing that out. And you have listed very crucial steps people can begin to take to adopt the mindset of abundance. Their gratitude, like having that heart of gratitude. No matter how much you have, it's not about how much. It's just having that gratitude heart, that you're grateful for this moment where you are today, actually begins to rewire you for abundance. So that's really crucial. Gratitude. What are you grateful for right now? Right now, this moment, just step aside, pause everything, ask yourself, what am I grateful for right now? If you can't find anything, then perhaps you need to rework reactivate your mindset of abundance. There are people, I ask them that question. What are you grateful for? Nothing. Okay, I ask them, if you had to find something, what would you find as something that you're grateful for? And someone searches for the first 3 minutes, they can't find anything. Why? The mind is focused on what you don't have, not what you have. As long as you're always focused on what you don't have, you never see what you already have, and you will never be abundant. For God to take you to the next level where you want to be, you need to appreciate where you are today, and that's abundance. And then of course, you talked about having that mindset of abundance in different areas of your life. Okay, even in the way you relate to people, is it abundant? Are you always holding back things? Are you that person that gives offering, holding back, or do you give from a abundant heart? When you give people, do you give them and you wish they gave you back, or do you really give? The conversations, do you dive into a conversation wholesomely and completely without holding back? Then you have the mindset of abundance. And let's, coaches, we can add into, what are other ways that people can be more abundant mindset? We've mentioned the mindset, what was it? Gratitude. Gratitude is key.
Yes.
Yeah. Being grateful for the little things. There are people who think because you don't have anything, there is no one on this planet can say they don't have anything to be grateful for, as long as you're breathing. Yeah. At least COVID taught us lessons that you have a lot to be grateful for. Oxygen can actually be something that you don't have. That's something you're buying. Some people buying oxygen, so you're buying oxygen. And now you realize, oh my God, as long as my foot is off the ground, I am so grateful this day. Then you begin to rewire yourself. Apart from gratitude, we talked about the focus of your mind. Don't focus on what you don't have. Focus first on what you have and be grateful. It's connected. Focus your mind on what you have. What are some of the other abundant habits, coaches, that we can encourage people? Dr. Akoth.
Yeah, I want just to add on the mind. And there are a few things I would like to talk about when it comes to our thoughts. I want to look at the mind from the perspective of our thoughts. I was sharing with the Master Coach Jeff earlier that in our day-to-day life, we are not trained to recognize the power of our thoughts.
Yeah.
And when I work with my clients, I push them to recognize the power of our thoughts. When we can capture our thoughts and understand that we have control over our thoughts. A lot of us think that, the thoughts just come and they control us and, life goes on. But if we can stop to understand that we can actually have power, we can train ourselves to, one, monitor our thoughts, recognize the thoughts, and then we can even train ourselves to interrogate the kind of thoughts that we entertain. So the first, I think, before we even master, before we cannot get anywhere with changing our mentality with regard to abundance if we do not recognize the power of our thoughts. Because it's our thoughts that control our feelings, that will make us feel a certain way, and then that is what will make us behave in a particular way. Let's look at what Coach Ogorchukwu talked about, the corruption, the grabbing mentality that we have, especially in our African continent. It comes from the belief that, which is the scarcity mentality, the belief that the resources are limited, that somebody's success means that I am not going to be successful. Somebody's win, if somebody else's wins, I'm not going to win. If somebody else's acquires that, I am not going to have enough. Contrary to that, abundance is whereby we believe that there is enough for everybody. So if we can change our mentality to think that way, that there's enough for everybody, and this happens in every aspect of our life, with our relationships, with our friends, with our spouses,
Dating.
even with our children, dating, we start fighting over the emotional resources, for example. So we believe, because we have a scarcity mentality, we believe that the resources are not enough. So I either get the resource so that you don't get it.
Yes.
But if we can understand the power of our thought, where we start actively and intentionally training ourselves to think abundance, to understand that there is enough for everybody, and that your win is my win, and that we can share what is there, then we will have won the war on the scarcity mentality by far. So that, for me, that is the beginning. Recognizing the power of our thoughts and taking action. I know some of the conversations we have with my clients, for example, is how do I train my thoughts? So there are things that you can do to train your thoughts, and some of them that I learn in my coaching classes is, things like affirmation, repeating the good things, just ensuring that you surround yourself with the good. Notice the good. Speak good. Choose your words carefully. Master Coach teaches us to choose our words.
Yes.
We often, because we have this, majority of people have this scarcity mentality. I remember he was challenging us that you cannot talk like this. You cannot say that I don't want to do ABCD. Focus on what it is that you want to do, the positive. So we should have the positive speaking. So we choose our words carefully. Then once we know the words that we want to focus on, We repeat them, affirmation, we notice the good. So those are just some of the other things that we can do to increase and change or to develop an abundance mentality.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you, Daktari. And the mind, of course, there's a reason when a baby is born, the head will always come first. And there's a reason the Bible says, be ye transformed according to the
Yes.
renewal of your mind. So if we don't change our minds, we don't work on our minds, nothing else work. And I like the fact that, the way you've put out areas of our lives where we can actually shift our mindset, our relationships. I know people that once maybe you liked someone and someone else, sleeps with them, you think that you will never get married, you never get there because the right one has gone. Let me tell you, there's abundance of good people. If we were in church, someone would have said amen. There's abundance of good people. That's not the only one. I know people, I hear stories of people committing suicide just because the one they thought they would get married to has gone with someone else. Scarcity mindset tells you now I'm finished. Okay, and then money, that's another area of abundance. That when you see your friends succeed, you think that they are taking your money. There's so much available for all of us. Career, when you leave one job, that's not the only job. And so there's a lot that we can benefit from abundant mindset and shifting our mindset. Coach Ogo, how can we help someone that says, I don't know where to start? What can I do? I know Dr. Akoth has added their affirmations as one of the things you can do to begin to change your mind. How can we renew our mind in the direction of abundance?
Okay, so renew our mind in the area of abundance. We have to take action because life is a function of choice. The choice it depends on what the person wants. The person has to decide. So once
Yeah.
someone gets into that bubble of being stuck, they have to come into the place of self-reflection. They have to take their time to breathe and relax and come calm and say, what is this I'm not doing right to achieve this abundance? So and that way, because abundance has a lot to do with practice. Like we said, the gratitude
Yes.
practice,
Yes.
start giving. Like one of the things like we taught our children early, it's giving.
Giving.
You
Yes.
know, the Bible always say there's one that withholdeth and lacks, and there's one that gives and gets more. Start sharing your passion, start sharing your ideas, just like we're doing. Start sharing what you have. The
Nice.
world can be a better place if we know how to share. We can give. There's several times our children they have their birthdays.
Mm,
And we say, now we don't need to do a party. Let's go to homes. We need to donate a lot of this stuff to give to children. Because where they were, the children don't lack anything, particularly. They're privileged children. So why should you give more when you can give to less? So we started looking for ways, and most times we find out we get very fulfilled. They are excited. Even I remember when going to a home, even the dog was following us with our car, and the dog was still escorting us, was still coming because he was looking for what we will still give. So
yeah.
giving is really a pathway to abundance. The more you give, the more you receive. And people don't understand. If you open your hand, give, you receive. So the abundance means that we must take practice in giving. So the more we give, and the Bible says, a liberal soul shall be made fat. So
Yes.
liberal,
Yes.
meaning that yes, you may have a little of this, but the fact that you decided to share, it will be multiplied. So it brings that power of multiplication, giving ideas, giving encouragement, giving love, giving care, giving just anything. Because people will say, where do I start from? There's so much to give. Just smiling that someone is a giving. Someone is not feeling so good. you visit, you can share your idea, you can share your experience. You know, those things are things. Giving comes in different magnitude. It's not something, it's not straight jacketed to one particular thing. So that's how it is with abundance. So as long as we give, you find out that even after giving, you feel very fulfilled. You know, it's
Yes.
a place of fulfillment. And the more you give, you can't lack that thing. When
Mm.
you help people, you can't even lack that thing. So once you are able to do that, and you can actually give God a good reason. You say, Lord, you remember I gave to the poor. You say I gave to the less privileged. So in this area, I cannot be challenged when it comes to finance. And one thing God does is He looks at our vision and our dreams. When He
Yes.
sees that what you want to do is larger than you want to impact, then the resources start flowing. You know, it starts flowing. How it comes, I don't know, but I have enjoyed the goodness of God in this area. You know, yes, I have in so many ways. We give and give and give, and sometimes you're like, oh my goodness, but God has a way of bringing back things in ways that we can't even explain, far beyond. So, attitude of, like I said, the practice part of, gratitude, because it's when you're grateful, then you can also give. Then
Give, yeah.
giving, we must give a lot.
Wow. Wow. Awesome. Guys, are you taking notes? I'm learning so much uh, about giving there. And I'd like to know what you are learning. What is your takeaway from this conversation? If you're online, I'd like to know that. Now, more on giving, because some people, Dr. Akoth, some people feel I have given so much, I don't want to give anymore. I'm being drained. Is that really true? Can you overgive? Can you give and give and give and feel like, no, 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 I'm tired of giving. I'm tired of giving. Now I'm waiting for someone to give me. Which now you go to the other side of scarcity. And I don't know. Can someone be tired of giving? You know, where you feel no, I want to take a break.
No, that's a good question. If someone has been giving, I mean, there's so much joy in giving, and there's so much fulfillment, and you will never lack. You
Yeah.
absolutely will never lack if you're a giver. So it's almost impossible for someone who has been genuinely giving from, from the depth of their heart to
Yeah.
stop giving. They'll feel miserable and they'll just start giving again.
Mm,
Mhm.
mm,
They can't stay without giving.
mm, mm.
Um, but of course, life changes. Sometimes things happen in our lives where, and then we're also just human at the end of the day, where you can feel like, oh boy, I've been giving, I've been giving, I've been giving.
Mhm.
I just want to take a break from it. Yes, you can take a break, but I assure you, if that person was giving from the depth of their heart, they will not settle. They'll
Yeah.
just find a way of giving once again. And
Yeah.
like Coach Ogo said, giving doesn't have to be material.
Mm.
Doesn't have to be material. You can be giving of your time. You can be giving of your services. If you don't have material to give, you can be giving of your services. You can be giving of your expertise. You can see even organizations give through social responsibility. That's an aspect of giving. So there are so many ways that we can give. You can even give, even if you are not able to give of your time, give of material in service. You can even give by praying for other people, just you
Yes.
know
Yes.
taking time to pray for people. So there are so many ways that we can give, but I believe that if you are truly a giver who gives from the bottom of their heart, it's a practice that once you start, you cannot. I mean, I think it's addictive.
It
But it's a
is.
good addiction. It's something that once you've started, you cannot stop, because you will not settle.
Yeah.
And then also, once you are giving, I believe God also just gives you the grace to give even more. And
Yeah.
He just adds onto it so that He gives you an opportunity to give even more in so many
Mm,
different ways. Yeah.
mm.
So
Amazing.
I don't think that can be possible. Yes.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Akoth. It's true. You become a channel. You become a channel for good. You become a channel for God. And a channel is not it's not really the giver. You are a channel. So it's an awareness that even what you have and who you are today is not just, doesn't really belong to you. It's something that you are given by God. And so it's a channel. You become a channel through which the resources of God come through you. So there's no end. There's no end as long as you're open. But the moment you close, and that's what people do when your heart, you say, I'll never do that again. You close the channel, but not, remembering that you are just a channel. Whatever you are giving, it does not really belong to you. It belongs to God. Yeah, so just thought of saying that. Thank you so much for sharing. Something you can add there, Coach Ogo?
Many times, one of the areas that actually holds a lot of people back is the fear of that what they have will finish. Like what we're saying, it's a limiting mindset. They have this, and once they give from that, then it's exhausted. But as long as it is from God, the source, God remains our source, and He sustains whatever we have. So once we know this is from God, then we work with what God has sent us to do on planet Earth. Then we will not lack. I remember those days when, even growing up as a child, my parents they were always giving. So I couldn't have grown any differently. So they will open up their home, people will come, sometimes they make it very uncomfortable for us, and so many other things. My mom, she will keep giving and giving. They will have the last one, and all of us, they will give. My mother always used to open up her home to children. So I
Yeah.
witnessed when the thing and the passion, it's like a legacy. She opened up her home, she started teaching people from Sunday school, because she is a trained teacher, and she was always teaching, because she says, people say the teachers, their blessing is in heaven. Okay, I'll have more blessing in heaven. And she kept on guiding lots of children, helping people, mentoring. So I grew up in that environment, and I couldn't have done anything different. Giving, and we have to start it early with our, with our homes, with also with people around us. Because when we give, some people think they are smart. When you give them, they always come. They be wanting to collect. They don't understand that there's a blessing that comes when you're giving, and they understand that part. They've not caught that insight. So you keep giving, and the more you give, the more you receive. Because those who lack, like the people who are in that bubble of scarcity, they are always victims. While people who walk in abundance are always like the drivers, they are always in charge. They're in charge of their destiny because they know the source is God, and the source will never run dry. There's another thing again, and people have to also change their behavior. The behavior sometimes is not just the language, sometimes it's not just the action, behavior. They behave in that lack that lack mindset, So, and that behavior also affects them, and totally the lack comes. So because we attract, because we are the ones to bring we feel the energy, the right energy. We must bring the right energy. So the energy of abundance is very key. So as God helps us, may we help, as God guides us, He gives us the wisdom, because we need divine direction, divine wisdom, and
Yeah.
divine guidance. So that we know we are also even in the right soil, so that it will germinate and it also reproduces and replicates, and we have more and more by the grace of God.
Wow. Thank you so much, Coach Ogo, for bringing that out. We're talking about behavior here. How you act. Do you act abundantly, or do you act out of scarcity? Okay. Do you act abundantly? Some people have, by 15, they're saying, I have more month than the money ahead of me, because there are so many needs, and you think in terms of need, and the fear comes in and you begin to act. Everyone around you knows that you're broke because of the way you're acting. You don't have to act broke even when you're broke. The Bible says, let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich. So even the conversation you have with yourself Never put yourself down. Let others put you down, but not you. That inner conversation, let it be elevating. Even when you're broke, don't participate in making yourself even more broke by telling the world how broke you are. And it's like we gather together in committees to actually prove who is, more broke than the other. Why not entertain the abundance conversation? Just say, because of where I'm going, my faith in God, I believe something is coming my way. And you tell yourself that over and over again. The affirmation, I believe something, my life is getting better and better.
Mhm.
Every day, in every way, I believe my life is getting better and better. Because some of us, we kill our own destiny with our words, the words of our mouth, but also the way we act, the way we feel, what we call the emotional home, where you are most of the time. Because if you always feel small, you always, when you're told, take a seat, you take the edge of the seat because you don't feel you're enough. You don't feel you deserve the entire thing. Let me tell you, when you dine with the king, behave like one. When you realize you are a child of the king, behave like one. Act and you will become it. And there's a tool in coaching called visualization. Visualization is, seeing in your mind exactly the way you'd like your life to be. You looking in your mind, in your mental perspective, you're looking at your life the way you'd like it to be. And so I encourage you guys, you begin to see your life as abundant. Don't wait to be abundant to feel abundant. And then be grateful for that what you see in your mind of faith. Whatever you see, begin to be grateful as though it's real. Guess what? Tomorrow it will be real. People, very, good, willing people will come your way telling you, there's this job, there's this opportunity, because you are in the energy, what Coach Ogo is talking about. You are in the vibration of abundance. So let's make that decision today. Let this conversation count. And so as we come to the end of this conversation, coaches, what's your parting shot? What would you tell guys, in regarding shifting our mindset from scarcity to abundance? We can begin with Dr. Akoth, and then Coach Ogo can finish for us.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think we began from a very good place of just recognizing the power of our thoughts. But there's something Coach Ogo mentioned, and I think even you, Coach Jeff, you mentioned that it begins from the point of awareness. Are we aware? Or are we even aware that what kind of mentality we have? I want us to start asking ourselves, and some of the things you can be looking out for that can help you know whether you're in a scarcity mentality or an abundance mentality. What is your point of view? Do you see yourself as a victim or as a driver of your life? I think Coach Ogo mentioned that. So what's your point of view in life? And what kind of physical energy do you exude wherever you go? Are you someone who is just tensed and, walking around with shoulders that are crouched, clenched jaw? Are you just tense? Or when you walk into a room, what kind of energy do you exude? And what is your emotional home? What is your emotional energy? Are you someone who is always frustrated, impatient, angry, afraid? Coach Ogo talked about fear. Are you just a fearful person feeling powerless all the time? Or you're someone who is quite positive in their emotions and, someone who is patient and, takes time to understand how they're feeling and questioning the kind of emotion. What, most importantly, what is your mental energy? What is your mental energy? What are you focusing on? What are you focusing your thoughts on? What thoughts do you allow to build a home in your mind? Because we allow certain thoughts in our mind, and that's what controls our feelings and eventually controls our behavior. We are talking about behavior. Our thoughts control our feelings or our emotions, and then they go on to control our behavior. So do we understand that? So we need to start from that point of asking ourselves, what kind of mentality do I have, scarcity or abundance? And now we know the awareness we are creating here. You can now take that massive action and tell yourself that, wow, I want to change my mentality from scarcity to abundant mentality. And again, as I'm finishing, just to encourage you to understand that sometimes you can't do this alone. You can get somebody to work with you, to help you identify, because we are often blindsided by our own thinking, our own feelings. We don't know. So when you have another person, a coach or a counselor or somebody who trains people, they can guide you and help to point out, because they'll be more objective. We
Yeah.
are often not going to be objective about our own feelings, our own thoughts, our own mental energy. So you can seek that help. Let's normalize talking to other people to help us change our perspectives, change our thought processes. Let's normalize that. So I think, and then once we are aware, once we get into this self awareness, let us go out and seek the help that we need. So that's how I would want to encourage people. But I just want to say it is possible. We can change our mentality. And I wish if in Africa we can change our whole mentality, imagine where we would be as a continent. Did the Coach Jeff freeze or it's me?
Uh-oh. Like Coach Jeff is like it's out.
Okay, I think then you can go ahead. He'll probably come in. You can say, oh, okay, he's back.
We are back. We are back.
All
Okay,
right.
great, awesome. Thank you so much, Coach Dr. Akoth. You are done. Sorry,
Yes, I'm
my
done.
network was a bit low there, so we can go to Coach Ogorchukwu. Please take on.
Okay, thank you so much. We are here to serve. That is what we coaches do. We are here to serve you. And always feel free to, like what Dr. Akoth had said, feel free to get this help from someone who is neutral, who will see things from a more liberal way, so that they are able to see deeply and help. And the major area we must focus on is our mentality, the mentality of abundance. We have to create abundance. You know, be grateful for what we have, where we are, and be grateful for where we are going to. So we have to start from somewhere. So where we are is the starting place. So you may not be where you are thinking you ought to, but you are in a good place. Like the Bible says, it said it's better for a living dog than for a dead lion. So where you are is a starting point and you're moving forward. So surround yourself with people. Like I always talk about people, because people, we magnet, they are people who attract negative and positive energy. So surround yourself with people who have abundant mentality. So mentality in their career, abundance mentality in their relationship, abundance mentality. You know, there are different people for different things. So you keep looking at them where you know the people that you need for particular things, and just get them and build on that area of abundance. Focus on your strength. I always say that, focus on your strength, because that's another thing that brings abundance. When you focus on your strength, you know that you have more than enough. It's surplus. So you're able to give an advice, you're able to give guidance, you're able to help, you're able to give someone a word, a joy, you know, some excitement, you know, crack some jokes, being with the right people. Even a text message can actually relate someone who is going through depression and going through some issue. Then we must change our language, what we say consistently to ourselves. We must speak the right language. The right language, our physiology, our body language. We must say it, act it, believe it, you know, and actions. We must take lots and lots of actions to get this abundance. Then the choices are many. If we try option A, it's not working, try option B. So we should not feel stuck. We should not feel stuck that it is the end of the road. Choices are there. It must work. Something must work. Many people who tried great things, tried many. At the end of the day, if we're looking at KFC, all the rejection, but he kept on trying. So the power of resilience, persistence. So at the end of the day, the abundance will come. So let's put our mentality right. Let's practice and practice, abundance and give. The power of giving is key. I have personally tried the power of giving. Mostly when it's maybe when you want to break into another realm, another realm in abundance in any realm, in all areas, whether financially, academically, socially, or whatever. Just sow seed, give in that area. You find out that those areas, the things, you start attracting them, they start coming, start pumping in, and God will help us to walk in the fullness of purpose.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, coaches. Well, I already feel abundant. I don't know whether abundance is the energy is coming in your life right now. It's you to open the gate. Okay, so you can start in one way or another this week. And guys, we are here live every Friday, no, every Saturday, sorry, 6 p.m. We'll be sending the message to you so that you're ready to join us. Thank you for joining us today. This is a place we'll be here to make a contribution. We are giving. And you can also give by sharing this video. That's another way of giving. Share this video with someone that maybe doesn't know this exists. Invite them in the show, invite them in the party, so we can enjoy together. We celebrate you. We celebrate the gift of abundance, the gift of God, and the fact that there are no limits. There's no limitation of money. There's no limitation of time. There's no limitation of what you can do. There's no limit. No matter how old you are, how young you are, that's not an excuse for you to live a life of less than you were born to live. And I leave you with this. When you talk about abundance and success and becoming all that you were born to be, there are 4 things I want to leave you with. Number 1, you're given unlimited potential by God. All of us as human beings, there's no one of us that has more potential than the other. And then number 2, the actions that you take determines the amount of potential you unleash. So potential is unleashed by action. And we talked about some of the actions. We made suggestion in this show, some of the actions you can take. Then actions give you what? Action give you results. And then results give you self-confidence. Self-confidence unleashes more potential. More potential, more action. More action, more results. More results, more self-belief in yourself. And so this week, let's take action, because already the potential is there. You and I have equal potential, unlimited. Thank God that there's no limit to our potential. But then we can limit our action. Will you limit your action? I'll leave that to you to decide. Do you want to live a life of limitation or a life of abundance? Thank you for being in this show. God bless you, and good night. Bye, coaches.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.